fans, Joe Motion Videos 82 here. It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. Today we're going to be looking at another viewer donation. This one came from Delvis78. He so graciously sent me the 1986 Roadblock, my favorite version of Roadblock. If you've been watching the show, you know that I am a big fan of the 86 line. It just holds very special memories for me. I withheld the review from last week, waiting for another donation to come in, a file card. So that viewer didn't want to be mentioned, so I won't mention her name. But I do have, she sent a full card back, which is very nice. I do like the full card backs. As you can see, some of those are carded figures back there. And yes, I have some Star Wars up there, and right here is a carded Action Force, Scooby-Doo. So let's go ahead and get into this review. He was released in 86, as aforementioned, a part of the 5th series. He was on the shelves until 88 when he was discontinued. So he had a nice 2-year run, and the earlier Joes, they did keep him around for 2 years, and then they got to the 90s and they stopped. It was only a year run. And I didn't know he was on the pegs until 88, until I did this review. And I don't recall ever seeing him. Otherwise, I probably would have bought him. But he made his first comic book appearance in issue number 105. And of course, he was in the Sunbow series quite a bit. He was seen in the introduction riding in the Havoc and took off flying in the hovercraft. His original retail price is $2.35. So let me pull up a picture of that comic, as well as the infamous clip from the G.I. Joe movie. There was another viewer that had mentioned last week or the week before that he can only see Roadblock as the snake carrying Roadblock, and that's the picture that I found on yojo.com. So let me pull those pictures up for you. All right, and I do remember John having this as when he bought them on the shelves. But before I get into that childhood memory, you see the comic book cover shows Roadblock up there ready to kick some backside there. And also when they were inside of Cobra Law, he had the mutated Cobra Commander slung around his back, which I would have just told him to take a hike, but Cobra Commander was willing to help him. So Roadblock did the honorable thing. So yeah, John got Roadblock. Of course, John had them all. I do remember playing with him. Went over on Saturday morning. I'd go over there about 8 or 9 and just stay there all day long. It was a great time. I practically lived at that guy's house. But yeah, of course, he had Roadblock out there, and you know, I just thought he was the coolest thing, and his uniform matches the uniform of Cross Country. I mean, from the green vest down to the gray pants. So I always had this theory, formulated as an adult, I should say, the theory that Roadblock was intended to go with the Havoc as well, but they were trying to keep the price down on it, and just sold it with one action figure. So yeah, even back then, Roadblock's accessories kind of irritated me. I liked his original Browning machine gun. It was a real world looking gun. This one is kind of odd. The tripod is taller. I guess they looked at focus groups and said, hey, you know, kids don't like this. It's hard for them to use. I don't know. I like the tripod being small. He carried it on his backpack. But this one is a bit interesting. The tripod is a bit higher. So let's go ahead and get into this review. Great action figure. And again, thank you very much, Dell. I do greatly appreciate it, and everything everybody else has sent me to. It's very nice that you guys are helping me out, helping this channel. So let's go ahead and get into this review here. Right, so here he is. There's Roadblock, looking pretty awesome in that uniform. Let's go ahead and take a look at his card back here. You can see it arches to a point, because that's where the bipod was. It was up in there. The picture on there shows Roadblock carrying his machine gun, yelling. Very cool. Up here on his vest it reads G.I. Joe. He has a lot of zippers and stuff. This came with a body transfer. They couldn't call it a tattoo. It was a body transfer. And this particular one was purchased at Kmart for $6.97. Or $6.97. Geez, dyslexia sucks. $2.97. A little bit more than what yojo.com said. But I do remember how to read the numbers on these on the stickers. This is Department 1. And it was June 26th when they received this and put that sticker on there. So June 26th of 86. Here on the back, I'll have to set it off in the distance here so you guys could really see it all. You know what? We'll just do it this way. Pick up the camera. All the Joes that were available at that time. Look at all those guys. Storm Shadow was still out on the pegs. See, interesting that Storm Shadow was still out there. He was the only swivel head outside of the Dreadnoks that were still. This Storm Shadow was 84, 85. So yeah, all the Joes that were available. I just love the full card backs. So let's go ahead and take a look at his accessories. He came with two. This machine gun, supposed to be a 50 caliber, I guess, or an M60. Made in this gray plastic, very soft plastic. Here it has a sculpted on bipod that he could drop down. Handle's pretty big, but you can, I don't want to force it in his hands, but he could do a two-handed grip with this, which is pretty nice. Detail on it is really good. I do like that. It has an ejection port and a belt feed for it. Pretty cool. Standard bipod, outside of it being pretty tall, made out of that gray plastic. We didn't play with the bipod much. We just set it off to the side because it was a little cumbersome. So looking at Roadblock, starting from the boots up, he's wearing standard black boots, nice gray pants with cargo pockets, has back pockets as well, wearing a web belt and a silver belt buckle. That goes all the way around with two pouches on each side, or one pouch on each side. This is a name ribbon that says G.I. Joe on it. Great looking vest. I love the red and green on there. It has a stiletto here, more pouches, a shoulder pad, vest. It just has some very nice sculpting on it, and it's over a white t-shirt, which is pretty cool. Of course, he's wearing his signature gloves, and he has a watch. And they gave him a soul patch. Well, he already had the soul patch, never mind. That was a carry-on from his first version, but they have him smiling in this one, which is pretty cool. Great looking action figure all around. I do love Roadblock. He is one of the more popular Joes. He's been in the animated series since the beginning. Just remained a popular figure. All right, let's go ahead and get into his file card. It reads codename Roadblock. He's a heavy machine gunner. File name Hinton Marvin F. Serial number RA538203485. Primary military specialty heavy weapons infantry heavy weapons. Secondary military specialty, he's a cook. Birthplace Biloxi, Mississippi. He is an E4. He's a specialist. I think they should at least make him a sergeant. Middle paragraph reads, Roadblock's dream was to be a gourmet chef. He was working as a bouncer to earn money to attend Escoffier school in France when an army recruiter convinced him that the army could train him. Roadblock joined but found out army menus and preparation techniques found them to be too appalling. Transferred to the infantry. He's a qualified expert in an M2 Browning, which is the Ma Deuce, 50 caliber heavy machine gun, all Warsaw packed heavy machine guns, M16, M1911 A1 auto pistol. The bottom paragraph reads in a quote, a 50 caliber Browning weighs 84 pounds. Add 50 rounds for the ammunition and about 134 pounds of steel, generating 2,930 foot-pounds of muzzle velocity at a cyclic rate of 550 RPMs. Anybody could handle that. Doesn't need a machine gun to keep me away. Anybody who can handle that doesn't need a machine gun to keep me away. Okay, so I guess that's Roadblock saying that. But he could pick this up and carry it and fire it. Showed him doing it in the cartoon or in the comics, and that's quite a feat. Roadblock was portrayed as one of the strongest members of the Joe team, especially in the comics. He was a pretty strong dude, moving some heavy equipment to free a fellow Joe in a tank, I think it was. But needless to say, he's a great action figure, great character. I really enjoyed how he was portrayed in the cartoon, and version 2 is always going to be my favorite. Yeah, he's a good guy, good action figure. I have almost all of the vintage Roadblocks. I just need the two from the 90s when he was in a spacesuit. But yeah, I just can't say enough good about him. He's a very key member of the G.I. Joe team. And he was even portrayed in the movie. The Rock was playing Roadblock, so that was pretty cool that they brought Roadblock out in the movie. Okay, so all that being said brings me into my favorite segment of the show, Byron's Right. Yeah, Not much to gripe about. If you're looking for this guy, he is out there on the aftermarket and in an abundance. There are a lot of them out there. I found a few pages full, so I just narrowed the prices down to the bare minimum, so I'm not going down the list with just a bunch of prices. That was how many they were. Um, for those of you just joining, I don't use eBay to pick on them or the sellers. This is for information and entertainment. Some of the prices are getting outlandish. That's why I started this segment, and I do like to complain about how these prices are high. Uh, it's ridiculous. Because it says G.I. Joe, that does not mean it should be expensive. There are figures out there more valuable than others, but Roadblock was out there for 2 years, and there are thousands of them out there. And there's no need for him to be so blasted expensive. So, getting into it, there are 4 of them that I found that are carded. One has an AFA grading. Those prices are $125 up to $250. That's not bad as far as a carded figure is concerned. Of course, the older Joes from 82 and 83, those carded ones go for a mint, especially Snake Eyes. I think he was short packed, which meant that there's only one of him per case. So, they wouldn't have him on the pegs for very long. And I only recall seeing him on a peg once, and that was in a drugstore. And that's where I usually found some of the harder to find action figures, was in a drugstore. People ordinarily didn't shop for toys there. So $125 to $250, that's decent, I guess, for a carded figure from that time. The one with an AFA grading, I'm not an AFA guy, but it's $499.99, and the grade was 80, which is near mint. But Toy Polloi did an experiment with AFA. He had a rare Masters Universe action figure graded, and it came back with a certain number. Well, he cracked open the case, and I mean, he's wasting, went through a lot of money to do that, but he did it for us. And so he cracked open the case, got that action figure out, sent it back, and it came back again with a different grade. So it's up in the air. I guess it really depends on who's looking at it. I don't think they really have, that was his point, that they don't have any set protocol. If it has this, 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 and this, give it this grade. So his point was, well, it depends on who saw it, gives it a different grade. So I don't put much stock in AFA after seeing that as far as the grading goes, but it does help in sales. So that is pretty expensive, but the guy's trying to recoup his money too. Incomplete is like came with the gun, no bipod, so on and so forth. $8.50 to $12. Not bad at all. I would snatch that up in a heartbeat. His accessories are dirt cheap, so you could get a complete Joe for under $20 with shipping. Complete with a full card, $40. That's a bit high. The full card, it commands a price of $10 or more. So that person gets the Scrooge of the Day award on that one. Bare bones, no accessories, $9.99. That's the high end of what I would pay for him. So yeah, it's still decent, but he doesn't have accessories. Complete with his file card, okay, $22 with a file card. No, that's still high, but condition is everything. Up to Wigaval. Here we go. $55. Really, man? It's people like this that make it hard for your average 9-to-5er with kids, a mortgage, cars, to purchase these toys from their childhood to share it with their children. And there are more children, our children, collecting these action figures, which I think is really cool. So we're carrying on the love of these toys. Yeah, $55, man. It's an or better offer. Yeah, I would think so. That's ridiculous. That's Scrooge of the Day award there too. Complete, no file cards, $18 to $24. 18, I would pay that for a complete one. 24, I don't think so. So really, the deal of the day would be the complete one, or the incomplete, for $8.50 through $12. Then you could buy his gun or whatever accessory you're missing and complete him. Because his bipod, $2, up to $3. His gun, $1.99 to $3. His file card, $4.50 to $7.50. Full card back. I already mentioned the prices on that. So yeah, I mean, you could buy his accessories and complete him for very cheap instead of buying one already complete and spend more money. So, shop smart with these guys. Look at the prices and the action figure, formulate or calculate your shipping in there, and if it costs more than a complete one, my money would say, hey, I'm buying the complete one. But it's up to you. I've been buying Joe's for a while now, so I like to share these. I like sharing these shopping tips with you guys, just to help save and shop on a budget. I mentioned several times that I'm a tightwad. For myself, I am, but other people, no. I'll give you the shirt off my back. But when it comes to buying stuff for myself, I am a tightwad. Yeah, so if you don't have him, definitely go out and get him. Dell, thank you again for this. He's up there with my prized possessions. I always hold on to him. And the letter you sent along with it. It's always nice hearing from you guys. So also, I reached 400 subscribers. Yes! See, that's how excited I am. I kicked the camera over. Yeah, I reached 400 subscribers. I cannot believe that. It's my 4th year, so average is 100 subscribers a year. But thank you guys very much. I couldn't have done that without you. Thank you so much. I do greatly appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps out. When I reach 500, I'll be doing another giveaway. And as always, be kind to one another, especially now, very tumultuous times here in the country. A little extra courtesy goes a long way, and especially be kind to animals. They know nothing but unconditional love. You see my dog. I mean, she's my best friend, my buddy. So you guys take care, stay safe. Remember the triple S: safety, sanitize, and 6 feet. Let's help quell COVID. I would personally appreciate that. I'd rather not have to work so hard, especially seeing people suffer with it. It's not fun. So you guys take care, stay safe. We'll see you next week for another G.I. Joe toy review. Until then, bye-bye. That's Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off.